Welcome to China Truths. Today we will take a look at the national security risks posed by Chinese-made drones used in the U.S., including House Committee lawmakers urge Fairfax County to stop using Chinese drones. Lawmakers urge U.S. agencies to restrict use of Chinese drones. House Committee sounds alarm over U.S. drone companies' ties to Beijing. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Now, let's dive into the details. House Committee lawmakers urge Fairfax County to stop using Chinese drones. The leaders of the House China Select Committee have called on a Virginia county government to cease using drones manufactured in China, warning that they pose espionage and data security risks. Representative John Molinar, a Republican from Michigan, chairman of the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and Representative Raja Krishnamurti, a Democrat from Illinois, the panel's ranking member, expressed concerns about Fairfax County's use of Chinese Unmanned Aerial System, UAS, platforms, in a September 26 letter to Jeffrey McKay, chairman of the county's Board of Supervisors. We understand Fairfax County is aware of the national security risks associated with deploying PRC drones and that the county has begun to raise awareness of supply chain and data security risks of foreign adversary-made UAS, the letter reads, using the abbreviation of China's official name, the People's Republic of China. The lawmakers said that Fairfax County operates a mixed drone fleet, and its public safety programs, emergency services, and the fire department all use drones to carry out their missions. We urge Fairfax County to ensure PRC drones are excluded from procurement and partner programs in the future, the lawmakers wrote, saying there is a large amount of sensitive national security sites and interests in the county. Fairfax County is located about 10 miles from Washington and is home to several U.S. intelligence agencies, such as the CIA, the National Counterterrorism Center, the National Reconnaissance Office, and the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. The letter named two Chinese drone manufacturers, DJI and Auto Robotics, that pose a threat to U.S. national and economic security, citing a report issued by the FBI and Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency in January. The report highlights the risks associated with using Chinese-made drones by pointing to different Chinese laws, including the National Intelligence Law that took effect in 2017, which compels Chinese companies to hand over data collected within China and elsewhere to Beijing's intelligence agencies. The report says the 2021 Data Security Law expands the PRC's access to and control of companies and data within China and imposes strict penalties on China-based businesses for non-compliance. The report encourages owners and operators of U.S. critical infrastructure to buy drones that are secure by design, including those made by U.S. companies. According to the letter, as of May 2023, 7 states, including Florida, Arkansas, and Tennessee, have grounded their fleets of Chinese drones and banned future procurement because of legitimate concerns about proprietary data being sent back to China. The lawmakers warn that DJI is looking for ways to sidestep regulatory and competitive pressures through a strategy known as white labeling. They noted that DJI has technology sharing agreements with companies, allowing its drones to be sold under different brand names in the U.S. market. The lawmakers wrote, this white labeling strategy may allow DJI to maintain a presence in markets where there are restrictions or hesitation about their products, under the guise of a different brand. Drone Industry Insights reported that DJI controlled nearly 80% of the market share of consumer drones in the United States in 2020. In June, the Atlantic Council published a brief saying that DJI and Auto achieved global market dominance through two Chinese government's policies, Made in China 2025 and Military Civil Fusion. The brief says, as a result of these strategies, DJI and Auto can sell their UAS at below market cost to the United States and allied countries, a process known as dumping. The State Department has warned that China is adopting the fusion strategy to divert the world's cutting-edge technologies, including through theft, to achieve military dominance. The Department of Defense has added DJI to its list of Chinese firms that it says are working with the Chinese military. While noting that Chinese drone makers could sell cheaper drones because of Chinese state subsidies, the lawmakers said that Congress could assist state and local governments in choosing more secure drone options by ensuring that certain grant programs are available. Aside from calling on Fairfax County to stop using Chinese drones, the lawmakers also asked the county to assist other counties in Virginia to adopt a drone procurement policy that adheres to the Virginia Public Procurement Act and the federal government's framework of addressing PRC drones and its national security risks. In response to an email inquiry from the Epoch Times, a spokesperson from McKay said, "We have received a letter from the U.S. House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party regarding drone usage and will be drafting a response." Lawmakers urge U.S. agencies to restrict use of Chinese drones. A dozen U.S. lawmakers urged the federal government on September 6 to restrict the use of Chinese-made agriculture drones and requested a briefing with the Agriculture Department and Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency by September 30. Highlighted in the letter from lawmakers was Chinese drone company DJI, which has been classified by the Department of Defense as a Chinese military company and is prohibited for U.S. military use. DJI has denied ties to the Chinese military, but publicly available information shows ties between the manufacturer and the Chinese government. DJI is the world's largest drone company and manufactures a variety of models, including agricultural drones that dispense aerosol spray. According to Statista, it enjoys 76% of the market. Lawmakers wrote, "The risk of these DJI agricultural spray drones being manipulated to carry out an attack in the United States cannot be ignored. Relying on our greatest strategic adversary for technology critical to the success of our agricultural production endangers the resiliency of our food supply." According to a DJI report, the company began making agriculture drones in 2015, and because of rapid development, it increased production of such drones from 2,500 in 2016 to more than 134,800 in 2021. Representative Elise Stefanik, a Republican from New York, one of the letter's signatories, introduced the Countering CCP Drones Act earlier this year that was passed by the U.S. House of Representatives. If it is signed into law, DJI equipment will be banned by the Federal Communications Commission. A Senate version of this bill was introduced in July. According to lawmakers, in addition to investment by the Chinese government's entities, DJI has also expressed allegiance to the CCP. They pointed to Chinese websites that describe DJI as a partner working on Beijing's central global projects such as the Belt and Road Initiative. DJI also welcomed a high-ranking Chinese government's official for a visit and was described as adhering to the guidance of Xi Jinping thought. As of March 2020, the Center for the Study of the Drone at Bard College counted 924 American public safety agencies, including police, sheriff, fire, and emergency services, that use DJI drones. DJI drones are estimated to make up about 80% of the U.S. market and 90% of the drones used by U.S. public safety agencies. In March, DJI opened a flagship store on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, signaling expansion in the U.S. market. House committee sounds alarm over U.S. drone companies' ties to Beijing. Two lawmakers have raised concerns about the U.S.-based drone company Anzu Robotics over its ties to DJI, a Chinese military drone firm backed by Beijing. Security researchers have confirmed that Anzu's Raptor T is essentially a DJI Mavic 3 painted green, with its remote control and application all running on DJI technology, Representatives Molinar and Krishnamurti wrote in a letter to Anzu Robotics CEO Randall Warnes, which was made public on August 27. Earlier this year, the House passed the Countering CCP Drones Act, which, if signed into law, would ban DJI from accessing U.S. communications networks. DJI is known to be a Chinese government-controlled entity, and the U.S. government has identified it as a security risk. The Department of Defense announced in a July 2021 statement that DJI systems pose potential threats to national security and designated it a Chinese military company. The Treasury and Commerce Departments sanctioned DJI because its drones have been used to help target Uyghurs in the Xinjiang region, according to the letter. The letter says, despite this designation, Anzu did not disclose its relationship with DJI in its filings with the Federal Communications Commission, even while the Anzu drone was found to include DJI parts. after security researchers publicized their findings that the Anzu Raptor T was the same as the DJI Mavic 3, Anzu and DJI both acknowledged that they had a partnership. The lawmakers' letter includes diagrams and photographs showing similarities in shared parts between an Anzu and a DJI drone. Anzu's CEO wrote in an email to the Epoch Times that we believe there are fundamental misunderstandings about how Anzu Robotics operates and complies with the law. Warner's did not provide specific details to refute the lawmakers' accusations but stated that the company would cooperate with the committee. We look forward to working collaboratively with the committee to address their concerns, he said. The lawmakers asked Warner's to disclose the terms of Anzu's partnership with DJI, noting that the publicly available evidence reviewed by the Congressional Committee has led lawmakers to believe that the partnership is meant to obscure Chinese government-backed technology entering the United States. The nature of the DJI-Anzu relationship appears to defy common business conventions, the lawmakers wrote, noting that while Anzu said it is licensing DJI technology, DJI receives no royalties through this licensing. On top of that, according to an Anzu presentation, DJI is also providing priority technical support for all Anzu drones, the lawmakers said, providing a screenshot of this presentation. According to your company, it was essentially DJI's idea to enter into this licensing agreement with a one-man startup with no technical expertise or pre-existing drone customer base, the letter reads. Anzu's use of DJI software and firmware leaves its products vulnerable to a Chinese government-based supply chain attack, according to the lawmakers, adding that even the software that didn't come from DJI is based on DJI technology. The lawmakers demanded that Anzu provide a detailed breakdown of its parts and technologies, as well as their sources, by September 13. They have also inquired whether the company acknowledges that its products are subject to the same restrictions that the government has imposed on DJI. The committee has previously sounded the alarm on Cogito Tech Company, similarly accusing it of serving as a smokescreen for DJI by reselling drones with DJI technology under a different name and brand. In a separate letter dated August 20, the lawmakers asked Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo to investigate both Anzu and Cogito for their ties to DJI and the Chinese government.